Well, one of the products that we have available today is called LuciadRIA, RIA for Rich Internet Application, and it's a system that helps our users to develop applications, because we're in the API business, so we help our users develop applications that connect to data streams, whether they are static data like maps or elevation models, dynamic like tracks and trajectories, connect all that information, fuse it and display it in a client mode only. So the application will run completely in the browser without any connection necessarily to the server while the application is running. So it's a very efficient mode of running applications in today's world. The core business of Luciad is producing APIs. So we have basically three products, three big APIs. One which serves to fuse data and create tile stores. Another one which is used to create rich client applications where we fuse the data from our Fusion API plus dynamic data or even real-time data like telemetry data coming from all sorts of sensors to create a common operational picture for the user, combining data from static, dynamic and real-time sources. And the third API is our newest product called RIA. It's a 2D and 3D and 4D application programming interface that allows the users to develop applications, web-based applications, where the data is actually processed in the web browser itself. We are coming from the domain of defense and aviation, which 10 years ago already had the requirements that we see today in farming, oil and gas and public safety. The military already had 10 years ago huge amounts of data to process and consume in order to produce a common operational picture for their end users. And what we see now is that these requirements are moving into the civilian sector, which also has these types of massive types of data streams coming into the user's smartphone or application. And that's really the key to our business, is moving from a core defense and aviation business into the more civilian market, which shares requirements today of the defense industry 10, 15 years ago. So if we look at the developments today, well, it's ever more types of information. The amounts of information that we generate are huge, everybody knows that. What's probably less well known is that the types of sensors are evolving as well. So we are combining today hyperspectral information with things as bizarre, or as bizarre it may seem, as ultrasonic information or infrared and other types of data, which is coming from a variety of sensors, some of which are very small and available in very great numbers. So lots of types of information coming from lots of types of sensors, which are available in much greater numbers than before. The sensor market is expanding because the platforms, well, the technologies are shrinking, but also there are more and more platforms to really place the sensors. If you think of cameras, for example, cameras on satellites in particular, an imaging satellite was as large as a bus 20 years ago and produced imagery with a certain definition. Today you can send CubeSats, which are 10 by 10 by 10 centimeter satellites, which include sensors which are probably more performant than what we had 20 years ago in a bus-size type of satellite. So instead of having one satellite refreshing the data every 6 days, you now have potentially 1,000 satellites refreshing all the data multiple times per day. It completely changes the paradigm of what you're going to be able to do with the information, but also how you have to process and distribute it to the end users. One of the obvious ones is the UAVs. UAVs of all sizes, and especially in the geospatial world, are really coming out in large numbers, types. And we are working in two aspects of the sensor world. One, processing the data which is produced by the sensors, but also with some of our partners like Airbus, we are developing solutions to manage the flight plans of the UAVs, so that the UAV operator can operate in security and in compliance with the airspaces that are around it. It's a field which is in constant evolution now. Some countries still forbid the operation of UAV except in very special circumstances. Others have defined very strict rules, and we have together with some partners already won several awards from Eurocontrol for having developed applications that help ensure the public safety with the use of multiple UAVs, which are today in the thousands and in a few years will probably be in the millions.